Oh, welcome to another Memphis Monday. What is this? It's Memphis Monday 341. This is part one of the sanding stand video. Today we're going to get it to this point. We're going to finish the cabinet, the mechanicals, the wheels. And then next week we'll be putting doors on it and drawers and drawer fronts, and maybe even the top, and we also have to put some finish on it. So if you want to see that, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning. Welcome to another Memphis Monday 341. Our 7th year, 29th week. Today we're going to have to slip that blue trunk down at least a week. Still waiting on parts and this and that. But today we're going to go to the next thing on the list, which is the sanding and utility station that I'll explain in just a minute. So let's knock off the chit chat and get to explain it. Here's our to-do list. A couple of weeks ago we did the access panel. That's complete. Last week we did the sandpaper drawer repair. So still waiting on parts and this and that on the blue trunk. So we're going to go down one job here to the mobile sanding station. Let's take a look at that. This is beta version here. I've been using for about 6 months. It's the idea is have this little cart with the vacuum here, the shop vac, and keep my sander plugged in. And whenever I need my sander, I can just plug it in and I don't have to go looking for anything. Additionally, the notion is that I have a power strip down here that I can plug other tools into. Then it has a work surface here that I can, lay stuff on while I'm working. And then the final concept is that it's going to be on wheels, so I can move it around the shop. Here's how I envision this thing. It'll have the power strip built onto the inside with a hole here for it to come out. The shop vac will be inside a cabinet, built into the cart. And I'll put some small drawers, how much ever room I have left. I don't want this thing to be real big, but I figure around 10 inches wide, 3 or 4 of them, and then the whole thing will be on wheels. Here's my cut list. What I do here is I just take one piece at a time. Like take this piece right here in my mind and draw it and figure out how big it's going to be. If it's got rabbits, if it's got dados, the whole deal. Kind of simplifies it. Then I go to the next piece, next piece, next piece. So looks like we'll be cutting out this stock. So let's get to it. A couple of weeks ago we made this tool stand here, and we put the double sheets of 3/4 inch plywood down here. That gives the case an incredibly strong base, but it also allows these wheels, these heavy-duty wheels, to be attached directly to the bottom using big, thick lag bolts. Additionally, the sides can then be attached to the bottom using pocket screws. Let me show you how I make that double thickness of plywood. So all I'm doing, I got two identical sheets of plywood here. I'm going to glue them together and temporarily hold them together with screws. And then I'll be able to take my sides and attach my sides directly to the bottom with pocket screws. And that will leave the outside bottom here completely clear of any fasteners. Well, there she is, all stuck together. We'll let this dry, and let's set up some Dado blades and start processing our parts. Well, along with our bottom that we're just working on, these are the other parts, two sides, the top, and then this is the divider. And here's the cut list. You can see that each one of these parts have various dados and rabbets, except for this center section right here. The center section goes right in here. It'll be separating the cabinet for the vacuum and the drawers over here. So let's set up for this, the dados. Okay, I got my stacked dado head all set up. I did some test runs here. This is the board that's the actual, it's going to cut the case in half. And this sits in a dado that's 3/4 wide and 3/8 of an inch deep. So we'll do the dados first. Really, there's only two dados in it, across here and across here. This is the top, and this is that double bottom we worked on. Now there's a way to fail here. You got to be careful, because this top is actually 3/4 of an inch longer. So that dado right there is going to be 3/8 of an inch farther from this top edge. So when I set this one up, I can't just go over and cut this one. I have to add 3/8 of an inch. So remember me to do that. Okay, I'm gonna cut this top dado first. I set the blade 9 3/8 to the edge of the stacked dado head cutter, and then when I do the bottom, I'll make it exactly 9 to the edge. Well, here's the center divider. The shop back will go in here, and then the drawers will be over here. There's something important right down here I want you to see. You notice that this center divider doesn't come all the way out to the edge. There's a 1/4 inch gap right here. This center divider was cut 15 3/4, whereas the top and the bottom were cut at 16. That's because there's going to be a rabbet right along here, a 1/4 inch rabbet to receive the back. Okay, now we got to do that corresponding dado on the bottom to receive that center section. Take these clamps off. And pull out all these screws. Okay, I got it mocked up here a little bit. This is the side. This will be attached with pocket screws this way, inside. Right now I need a rabbet along the inside here to receive the back. And I need a rabbet on the inside here to receive this top. This rabbet will be 3/4 of an inch wide and 3/8 deep. So I keep my depth. Let's do these rabbets first, these top rabbets. Now this is what I'm shooting for. So I put that little rabbet, which is actually the exact same size as the dados we did, except I put it right on the edge of the board. Let me go show you how I set that up. So I kept my depth the same and my width the same, but I put this sacrificial fence right up next to the edge there so that I can then run this top piece or this side piece right through there, right up against the fence, and make that little rabbet. Let's do that. Okay, I've got it mocked up here. I've already got this center section. It's set back 1/4 of an inch. What I got to do now is put a rabbet that is 3/8 of an inch deep and 1/4 inch wide all the way around. And I like to assemble the thing and actually put a line where I'm going to put the rabbet so that I don't trick myself and put the rabbet in the wrong place. Well, you just saw me trying to cut this back on the table saw, but the problem is I want to cut it 23 inches wide, and the edge of my material is going under the fence. Let me show you how I'm going to fix that. Now I'm going to be squaring the box with the back. So I want to make sure this cut is extremely accurate. And my most accurate thing is this table saw. And so I want to use the fence. So what I did is I added this 3/4 inch pine sacrificial fence to the fence. Okay, I got my width, I checked it, going this way and this way. And I drew this line in here, you can just barely see it. And that is 28 5/8. And I drew that line. And then I cross-checked it this way, and it's 36 11/16. So this panel is perfectly square, provided I cut exactly on that line. Now the problem is I'm going to be cutting that square line on this using this old table saw sled. I've been using it for about 18 years, and I should make another one, but this one has such sentimental value that I keep giving it new life. But the point is, the takeaway is, I can go ahead and cut this on this sled and cut right next to that line. And so if my sled drifts away from that line, I can know it and I can fix the cut. So let's give it a whirl. It looks like I'm about 1/64 of an inch off. That may do it, but it makes it a little bit long. So I'm going to take another real short walk-in cut, see if I can clean it up. I don't think anybody else could use this sled. It only works for me because I've used it so much. But it's not square, it's flimsy, it rocks around. You know, life is over, but I can't kill it. Okay, you're seeing it at the same time I am. See if this thing fits. Check it for square, because it ain't fitting. Okay, that's 36 11/16. So it's square. My box is out of square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down that channel. And then squeeze this thing around to the degree I can. Square the box up. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, this is what I mean about squaring the box up. You can see that the box is racked from that corner over there over here this way. So to unrack it, I need to put one of these big Mama Bear clamps on it and unrack it until the back falls into place. The reason I'm showing you all this is because I've been kind of skipping over whenever we make a case, I've been kind of skipping over the box making and going right on to the other parts of the project. So I thought I'd concentrate a little bit more on the box making. Okay, so I'm putting some pressure on it. Trying to rack it back the other way. There it goes. And she popped in there. Okay, I'm going to put the back on using these tiny little staples here. I'm counting on this back for strength. So using 1/4 inch plywood, glue, and staples. This is one of those things that it's a small thing, but if you forget to do it, it's a pain in the butt. And that is to mark the center line of where that center section goes through there. I mark it on both sides, and then just take a straight edge and mark the back of the box. So now that line traces out the center line of that center section. I don't have such a problem with blowout here, so I'm using 3/4 inch staples. This is a project we did about 3 years ago. Just a little stand I can stand on if I have a project that I need to get up to the top of. I did cut, set radius to cut in the ends. I put that in there to make it a little bit lighter. Now I was going to take the wheels off my beta version over there, and I still will when I throw that away. But I found these wheels here, which are actually better in my wheel hoard. Now this may be a takeaway. If you can swing it, and you need a drill and you need a driver, instead of switching bits back and forth, just use 2 drills if you can swing it. I put that first one in there and that holds it while I pre-drill the other holes. Now if you're lucky enough to get old and still doing this stuff, this is the kind of provisions you have to make. You know, I can't be bending down to put these wheels on. I watched some of those woodworking shows, from guys in Vietnam and stuff, building stuff. They do a real good job. They're working on the floor. It's amazing. You'd have to put me away. I want my suction hose to come in from the side, but I don't have a lot of clearance on this side here. As a matter of fact, I only have about 1/2 inch. So this hole that goes through for my suction has to be placed exactly right. So how I'm doing that is I put this little fitting here on the vacuum so I can perfectly center that hole. So there's my bullseye right there. And I'll simply take a drill and center it in that hole. Well, it calls for about a 2-inch hole, but I'm going to put a 2.5 inch. Well, it's tips and tricks time. Do you know how when you're trying to put these things in, these power strips, you gotta, put those holes in exactly whatever, and then the screws have got to be just right, and they never seem to work, and they're always loose, and they always come off. Well, what I did on this one is I drilled some holes through it at some strategic locations, and wrong kind of bit. Okay, I'm back with the right bit, I think. Yep. I drilled some holes through at some strategic locations, and I'm just going to attach it this way. Now, steel drills going through a power strip and all the little metal shavings and stuff that must have gotten back in there. We're going to pretend like that didn't happen and see if this works. This is one of those, don't try this at home, folks. Okay, let's plug it in. Doesn't work. Anything in the plug? Else to plug in? Let's try the sander. Now my theory is I'm going to put this cord in this hole. And my vacuum hose and this cord are both going to fit. Well, I got all the mechanicals set up. I had put a little notch in here for the cord to get through. All I got to do now is when I want to sand or vacuum, just hit this button. And I think that's going to do it for this week. I'm flat out of time on the calendar and also time on this video. So I think we're going to finish it next week. We're going to have to make this a part 2. So that'll do it for part 1 of the sanding stand. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 341. I was just going to do the cabinet today and then just kind of blow through the drawers and doors and tops and finish and all that stuff. But I figured but I'm out of time anyway, in real life time and also video time. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do all that next week, because for next week's project, because I'm sure some people like to see how the doors are made and the drawers and all that stuff. So we'll have a finished product. But I think that's some takeaways. I think a valuable takeaway is how to square that cabinet using the back. Another takeaway is permanently mounting those power strips so they don't shake around and move and come loose and all that business. So I think overall it turned out fine. All right, like, favorite, and share, and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, what is it? Make sure you're back here next week for an exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.